I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the date done, you are gonna love over your son.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
That sports for the best authentic sportswear. You check Wilton Sports when you want the best authentic sportswear. Wilton Sports. Food change advertising. And for roll out the numbers. Remember, no easy laugh, no off.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, people. You know I have to play that ad because it is the ad of the century. I am telling you. I don't know what that brother is saying, but big up to Wilson Sports. You understand me? Donald Wilson, aka Postman. You understand me? We have more to show you from that store. We'll be showing you some of the sporting wares that they have and how you can get them. You can check them out on Instagram and all the social media platforms. They are there. You understand me? For all your jerseys, shin guards, cleats, everything you want. Football, they have it there at Wilson Sports. You understand me? Good morning. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. My name is Manningsman, and you are on the big one, the good one. You understand me? And today we have a tremendous show lined up for you. I have one of our national players, an outstanding young man, you understand me, well-grounded and settled leader in his own right, you understand me. I know he has a fascinating story that he's going to be sharing with us today, so get ready for that. He's here live and in living colors, and I've had the privilege of meeting him and just interact with him. Very cordial, intelligent, you understand me, but strong personality, stand up for what is right and just. And like I said, he's a leader, and he leads by the example of his life, his attitude on and off the field. And we're going to show how important just believing in yourself, believing in your dreams, and believing that all things are possible is when we speak to him today. But before we bring him on, there's a couple of things that I have to share with you. All right. Number one, last night, JPL Games, Arnett Gardens defeated Veer by 2-0, and Tivoli Gardens, with a 95th minute strike by Alton Lewis, defeated Treasure Beach by 3-2. Very good game that was. All right. Tomorrow, don't forget that at the National Stadium, Cavaliers will take on Robin Hood in the second leg of the final of the Caribbean Club Championship. Cavaliers down 1, and they'll need to win that. For all the 1738, and if you don't know what that it is the great Manning School, not high, but the Manning School, the 1738. First school down this side. Wolmers don't try to say anything or be anything. You know the truth that Manning's is from the 1738. The under 16 and the under 14 team from Manning's are in the semifinals of the rural under 16 and under 14 championship, because they use your under 16 team to compete in the DaCosta Cup. Also want you to know that EPL action is on today, and then later tonight we have a very surprise guest. He is a reggae boy as well, and he's going to, Spanish Town and a Play Town. He said he's going to be around. I'm not going to tell you anymore, but be a part of that. Yeah, man, big up. Yeah, man, we're not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these set of players in the intro. All right, I knew that we were going to play in Copa America, and I knew that we were going to knock out Argentina in 2024. Allow me to talk about it, Demo. And then we're going to play Brazil, and we're going to knock them out, and it will be Jamaica versus Colombia in the finals, and then Jamaica going to beat them on penalties with Andre Blake pulling off a fantastic penalty save when Luis Diaz tried to, hit the old onion bag. That's what's going to happen. And Jamaica shall be lifting the Copa America in 2024. Remember that. But people, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. You understand me? You can, if you like the content, you can also give a super sticker or a super chat to support the channel. Big up to Prestige Finance. You understand me? Prestige Finance has been a long time sponsor of ours, lending a helping hand when you need it most. It is in the festive season, and if you need a little money to top you up, you understand me, to buy a pig or a goat or some swim around, check out Prestige Finance. If you want to buy a little divan or a little buffet or a little cabinet, you understand me, you want to buy a coal stove, link up Prestige Finance. Them have all that over there. If you want to buy a kettle, you understand me, all the money you need to borrow, link up Prestige Finance. If you want to buy, you get the new clocks, the daddy. Which color that? You understand, when you want to buy your brand new clocks, you can borrow some money and buy the clocks, but pay it back, or they come and take back the clocks from you. You understand what I mean? But before we bring on Mr. Waite, Jahmali Waite, let me read something for you, right? Because you always want to take the opportunity to inspire and share a bit of knowledge, right? I want to speak to you about character and reputation. And what is the difference between character and reputation? I always tell people, character is who you are when no one is watching, is who you are on the inside. But this is important, right? When you go by definition according to the dictionary, what we really understand is reputation. Reputation is overall quality or character as seen or judged by people in general. So your reputation is what is judged by people. Character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. If you take a look at the definition, you will notice that reputation is simply what others think of you. It is a formulated opinion. It is important for others to think highly of you, but your life should not be based on it. Your life should not be based on what people think about you. In contrast to reputation, character is who someone is. Character is what you really are, who you are when no one is looking. Not the face you see in the mirror, but the face behind the face. So character and reputation are different. So I want you to get that, all right? Without any further ado, we're going to welcome our guest this morning. national senior team goalkeeper, Mr. Jahmali Waite. Jahmali, good morning. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports.
Morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing good today, yeah. Doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Off season, so resting, relaxing.
Nah, that's done with now. Back to the grind.
Oh, you actually start pre-season already?
Nah, just working out, training.
Okay, wonderful. I didn't know that. So when do you get actual break? Life of a professional footballer. When is your break
Yeah, I
time?
mean, yeah, it's technically the off season, but you don't want to break for more than a week or 2 weeks. You can't break for 2 months and then try to get back to training. You'll be done in preseason.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So Jahmali, a lot of people they have heard the name and they have become more familiar with you because you have been a mainstay of the national team as of recent. But they may not know the origins, the initial stages, the beginning of your career. So I want you to begin by talking to the persons watching, listening now and later. Who is Jahmali Waite? Tell them about your early beginnings. Where you were born, where you grew up, and how you got involved in football.
Yeah, so I mean, born and raised in Kingston, Cockburn Pen, Olympic Garden. Uh, like most people in Jamaica, started playing in the streets. U13, U15, all that. Uh, went to Jamaica College, JC. Top school in Jamaica, Manning Cup. Everybody know that. Yeah, nobody laugh. Everybody know that top school in Jamaica right now, Manning Cup. Yeah, from there, so play U14, U16, then play 1 year Manning Cup. After that year, got the opportunity to go to Philadelphia Union Academy. So I went there for a year or two, and then, decided to go in a different part than most people, and went to college. Actually finished college for 4 years, and then started my professional career 2 years ago.
Okay. What do you study in college?
Economics.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. So, did you start like your first official team was Jamaica College under 14, or did you play in your community? Was there like
Yeah. So I played under 13, under 15, under 17 for Olympic Garden FC.
Okay, and you were always a goalkeeper?
No. I don't think any goalkeeper is always a goalkeeper.
Okay, so tell us what
I started, I was a right back. Yeah, right back. And then, I think there was one under 15 game where the goalkeeper didn't show up, and I was the tallest one on the team. So, yeah.
That's an Olympic Gardens. And so
Yeah.
the coach, you were being the tallest one, the coach said, go in the goal.
Yeah.
How did that game end? How much did you lose by?
Lose. I think we won actually 2-1.
Oh, the one goal scored on you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So it's under, but you're at JC.
Yeah.
That was at JC that you were moved into the goal?
Not well, I went to JC as a keeper.
Okay, you went to JC as a keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, did you know you were a very good goalkeeper, or when you went there, you figure like, what? I'm just learning.
I wasn't very good at all, to be honest. But I mean, after a while, I started liking it. Got really into it and actually tried to work on it, and then that's when you got good. But I didn't start being a good goalkeeper now.
Okay, so at JC, were you the number one in under 14 and under 16?
So the first year under 14, I wasn't the number one. The second year I was. Under 16 was the same thing. First year I wasn't the number one. Second year I was.
Okay, and then you went to the Manning Cup. Yeah.
Actually, what happened was, so I went to this. Valencia always have like camps in Jamaica.
Yes.
So there was a Valencia camp that I went to, because of JC. And I don't remember his name, but one of the under 17 national team coaches were there for Jamaica. And then, he saw me, he brought me into camp. And then I basically started playing with the U17 national team from that Valencia camp.
Oh, so
that's really where the whole goalkeeping thing started to really take off.
Okay. And so you did play U17 for Jamaica? And
U20, yeah.
And U20?
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, that U17 team that you're a part of, they played in the qualifiers and you were a part of that team?
Yeah, we played in the World Cup qualifiers in Honduras. Yeah.
Okay. Who are some of the players who were on that team with you?
Alex Marshall. Shane Beckford was there. Ajani Talbot. Javier Brown was there too, yeah. Javier Brown was there. Fabian Grant. A couple of guys were there, yeah.
Okay. And you were the number one in the under 17?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the other goalkeeper?
Hakeem Chambers.
Oh, okay. Interesting. You see, I know a lot of people didn't know this, All right. And then, all right. So you were a part of the under 17. You guys didn't make it, though you had a good crop of players. You didn't make it to the World Cup.
Yeah, we lost in the playing game to US in penalties, actually.
Okay. In penalties?
Yeah.
And you kept in that game? You remember any of the US players who probably you end up meeting now in your professional career?
I actually saved Pulisic PK.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Wasn't that kept in Jamaica?
Nah.
That
was in Honduras.
In Honduras. Oh, okay. And you saved Pulisic penalty?
Yeah.
Did Alex Marshall miss in that penalty shootout? I remember that. Yeah. Yes, it was Marshall who missed the penalty. Indeed. Yeah. I see. So you finished that under 17 and then you went back to JC for 1 year of Manning Cup.
Yeah.
Okay. How did JC do that year? How did you do in the Manning Cup that year?
We won Manning Cup. We lost Super Cup to Georges. Won Manning Cup and won Oliver Shield.
Okay. You remember your Manning Cup team? Who were some of the standouts on your Manning Cup team that year?
Who we had?
Who was your captain?
Alanda Brown.
Okay. I'm just asking because some of the players, I'm wondering where are some of these players now?
We had Johnny Talbot, Donovan Dawkins, they're there. Chinaman.
Did Donovan Dawkins score the win on the header?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Donovan Degree. We had some good players.
Okay. So the question is, normally with these high schools, right?
Yeah.
Are the so-called Jamaica college people would say, well, we're not a high school, we're a college. So, and these colleges that are high schools, right? You win Manning Cup. The thought is, why don't you, why don't you stay next year and do the double, right? But you said you made a decision to go to Philadelphia Union Academy. How did that opportunity came up, and were you under pressure to stay next year, or it was an easy decision for you and your family to just don't go back,
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they wanted me to come back, but most of my family was already in Philly. So I think the Union Academy, they watched one of the finals, I think the Manning Cup final they watched, and they reached out to Darren Virtue, who was at JC, and showed their interest in me going there. I mean, for me, once that happened, it was a no-brainer. Like, I could go back and win 3 Manning Cups, and I still wouldn't have gotten that opportunity to go in. Like for me, it's Jamaica. It's all good, but the development that I would be getting in a Philadelphia Union Academy compared to playing in the Mining Cup, that it's a huge difference. So.
Have you ever gone back, Jahmali, and talked to other youngsters about this? About, listen, if you have the opportunity to go now and get developed, because winning 3, 4, 5 Manning Cup titles, as good as it is in Jamaica, it don't necessarily further your development. Do you tell others that, or you just allow them to decide what they want to do?
I obviously I feel like guys wouldn't have listened to me at that point. Like me, I was in college. I just started playing professional, So now I could probably go back and, have words with them and talk to them, but I haven't gotten the chance to, no.
Okay. All right. So tell us about you were in the Philadelphia Union Academy. What was that like? Because the great, unstoppable, superb Andre, the fantastic Saves Blake was at Philadelphia. So
it was, so they had like a private school that you would go to. So all the players in the academy, we went to the same school, and then you would go up and you'd train in the morning before school, then you'd go to school and you'd train again after school. So everything was all in the same area though. Like they had residency. So I lived with a couple of Jamaican guys. I don't know if you know Justin McMaster. He was
Justin McMaster was recently. He was called up to one of the national teams or something recently. Yeah.
Yeah, he came with us to Cameroon. He actually scored the goal in that game.
In Cameroon, right?
But he was in the academy too. So we had a couple of Jamaican guys. But yeah, that's the setup of it. But the older guys, so you had, obviously they're different age groups. So like U18, U16 guys. Some of the guys would train with the professional team. Yeah. So you would go to school earlier, and then you would leave, go down to the stadium to train with the professional team.
Well, that's a tremendous opportunity, though, that you still get to educate yourself while developing. And how did that compare to what you were accustomed to or used to while you were at JC in terms of the kind of training and environment that you were exposed to?
I think like in an academy setup, you have, first of all, the facilities are way better. So in terms of like your gym, your lifting, all that stuff, they have different people that you work with to get you better in different areas. And obviously they have a lot more coaches that, they can really focus on your development specifically.
Okay. So how long did you stay now in at Philadelphia Union in terms of the academy setup?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. And then you went to college.
Yeah.
All right. So is it that you wanted to move to college, or you never signed a professional contract with the Philadelphia first team? Or you just said, listen, let me do college and then come back? What was that transition like for you?
Yeah, back in in that time, Philadelphia wasn't really signing young players as compared to now. So the opportunity wasn't really there. And for me, it's if it's not a great opportunity where you're like, I have to take this, then for me it was always better to go to college, get your education, because at the end of the day, football is football, but that can end at any point in time. And it'll always be good to have my degree to fall back on. If there's injury or anything that happens, I know that I could always use my degree to, get a job, have an income, all that.
So were you all right? So now you're going to make a decision to go to college. Were you highly scouted, or you just picked the college that you wanted to go to? Or there were, coming out of the academy, there are several colleges that probably said, hey, you should come here, and you chose one particular one, and why?
So how that worked was I actually, because I was coming from Jamaica, the whole grading and schooling thing was all messed up. So I actually ended up going to college a year earlier than I was supposed to. So I had a lot of like, I was talking to a lot of schools, USF, Kentucky's, but most of the top schools I was talking to at that time in like recruiting process, they could have only offered 80% or 85% scholarship for the first year and then full scholarship after that. Whereas a smaller school reached out, Fairleigh Dickinson, and they were offering a full scholarship for the whole time I was there. So, and obviously for me, it's always going to be, I'm not going to pay to go to school, obviously. So, yeah, but actually, I did struggle with that for a bit, because in terms of, soccer playing wise, like, I had top schools that are giving you 80% the first year, and you have a smaller school that's like, hey, we'll give you a full ride right now. And I talked to, while I was in academy, I talked to Andre about that for a bit. And, he basically told me, it's like, it's not where you go, but it's what you do when you go there. And that kind of eased me in deciding that, hey, it might be a smaller school, but it's a full scholarship, and, you go there and do the work. So I went there for 3 years. My junior year, we won our conference and we went to the NCAA tournament. And then after that year, I transferred to UConn.
Okay, so you did 2 years at UConn.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what was your time? So you Fuller Dickinson, right? You won in your first year.
No.
In your second year.
My third year. My first 2 years, my first year we lost in the semifinal. My second year we lost in the final, and then my third year we won.
Okay, and then you went to UConn.
Yeah.
For 1 year. Was it
for 2 years?
2 years.
Because of the when I went there was the COVID year.
Oh,
it was the COVID year, so we got an extra year.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so tell me, UConn big school. What was that like for you? No, you're moving up in. Did you get full scholarship as well?
Oh yeah. I wasn't gonna leave if I wasn't getting a full scholarship.
So you did the work at Fuller Dickinson, and then you got a full scholarship to UConn.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what? How was life at UConn?
Yeah. That was, it was almost like you're in a professional environment. So when I just got there, they had just built their new soccer stadium, like new facilities for working out, recovery, all that. So just the whole facility and all that, it was different level. But we were actually supposed to go to England on tour my first summer of my first year.
But COVID.
But then, COVID happened, so obviously that didn't happen. But
okay, so
that was one of the main reasons why I went there, was to go to that England tour.
And then COVID came. Okay, cool. All right, but what did you win? Did the UConn win anything in your full season? And also, did you have any accomplishment, maybe in terms of the amount of clean sheets you had or anything during your time at UConn?
So with the COVID season, we didn't make the playoffs, but I think I had, in like 16 games, I had like 8 shutouts or something like that. I had like half of the amount of games I played were shutouts.
Okay.
But yeah, there were no, we didn't make the playoffs, so they were going through a rebuilding process during my time there. So
in 2021, you finished UConn.
Yeah.
2021, right? Yeah, 2021.
Yeah.
And then, were you now hoping to move to Europe to get in the MLS? Because given what people have seen of you, like with the national team, people are thinking like, what is this guy doing in USL Championship? Come on, like, uh, what was that like? No, transitioning from college now. What's going through Jamali's head? All right, should I get
So
an agent to move to Europe? Should I look to secure a MLS contract? Do I start in the USL Championship and move up just in the same way I started at a smaller school and move to UConn? What's going on through your mind? What is your family telling you? What advice are you getting from other friends and teammates like Andre and stuff like that? What's going on at this major point? Because school is over now. It's making money time. To give out, the family some money.
no, I could walk you through that process. So obviously my senior year when I was at UConn, that was the COVID year. But they still had the MLS draft, and I was in the draft. And then so after the draft, there was actually an opportunity to go play in the USL Championship with LA.
Okay.
Yeah, with LA Galaxy 2. And I decided to stay in school and just finish, get my degree, stay in school.
I see. So you would have skipped your final year.
Right. Yeah.
And you decided not to skip your final year.
Right, and stay in school.
And stay in school. Okay.
So going back now, when I did my final year, talking to my agent and all that, we actually, the whole time we thought I was going to be in the draft, not knowing that because I was in the draft last year, I couldn't be in it again.
Oh, whoa.
So So I was supposed to go to the combine and all that, but because I couldn't be in the draft, it didn't make sense for me to go to the combine.
Oh, I see. So you'd have to have forfeited the first year in the draft.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, but you didn't know that at the time.
I didn't even know I was going to be in the draft, to be honest. They just kind of put me in there. So after that year, I talked to a couple MLS teams after my last year. I ended up going to preseason with Chicago Fire. They wanted to sign me to their second team. That didn't really work out. And then, from there, I went to Pittsburgh in the USL Championship, which for me, to be honest, I think that was probably the best decision I could have made for my career at that point in time.
Why would you say that? What are the reasons for that?
Because I could have signed with Chicago's second team and probably, not get any playing time, because how that works. So you have three keepers on the first team. So more likely the third keeper on the first team will play most of the games with the second team.
I see. Yes.
So I could have been in Chicago not playing. But then I went to Pittsburgh.
Number one in Pittsburgh.
Actually, I went to Pittsburgh as the number 3.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, the number 2. So the first, because I signed with them after the season started.
Right. So they had goalkeepers.
Yeah. They had 2 goalkeepers. They had a 1 and a 3. So I signed with them as a 2. And then the first couple of games, their number 1 was playing. My first game with them was in the Open Cup against Cincinnati.
Right.
We lost 2-0 in extra time, but that was probably one of the best games I've ever played in my whole career so far. And then, kind of from that game, I worked my way into being the number 1.
And you have been the number 1 for 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
2 seasons. All right. Had a tremendous season last season. How did your call up to the senior team come about? Because it happened right in this time as well. Because because this was going to be your first senior call up.
Right.
Yeah. So how did that happen, and how did that come about?
They reached out before. I think it was for that trip where they went to Suriname in the Nations League. But that we had a game that weekend for Pittsburgh, and my coach decided like he's not gonna let me go for that. And then I think that was when Amal and Andre both
Right.
got COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Then
you were supposed to say that Andre had COVID, and we're not sure what happened to Amal. So they called it, right? That both of
yeah.
them had COVID because one played, and if he had COVID, he was so careful now. You're letting the cat out the bag.
Yeah, but that was in the time that I got my first call.
Okay, right. For the game in Jamaica. Was it in
Yeah,
Jamaica? Yeah,
against Mexico.
against Mexico. Right. I mean, what was that like for you? What was the feeling? What was going through your mind and stuff?
That was something that I've kind of been waiting on. You know, in my head, it's once I started playing consistently at the professional level, I believed in myself and what I can do talent wise. So once I started, playing at that level, I kind of figured that call up was going to come at some point. It actually came earlier than I expected, but I was very excited when it came.
Yeah. All right. Do you remember what game was your first game now for the national team?
In Cameroon, that 1-1 draw in Cameroon.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The 1-1 draw in Cameroon, right? And so far for the national team, what game would you say this was my toughest game, but this was my or this was my best game?
Probably that the game in Grenada in the Nations League when we won 4-1 or 5-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was actually, if you remember, there was a stretch where we were up 2-0 that game.
Yes.
That we were going through it for a stretch. Even at 2-1, we were going through it. And I think I kind of held my composure. Made some good saves and kept us in the game. So that was probably the toughest game, and I think probably my best game so far.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, number one, how difficult it is to be like a number two, not knowing, like, especially when you have an excellent number one, not knowing like when next you're going to be called up to keep, but you just have to keep staying ready.
Yeah.
How difficult is that part of goalkeeping?
I think that for me, you just gotta have the mindset and the mentality that you have to always be ready to play, because you never know what's going to happen, right? Like, even let's say even the Honduras game in Jamaica. So I came into camp and Andre's there, I'm there, so don't really expect to play. And then 2 days before the game, he gets sick.
You're letting the cat out the bag.
So I mean, it's you got to have the mindset that you just got to be ready. You got to be ready to play, regardless of the situation, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Let's say I need to apologize to you for saying being the number two instead of number second. But also no. So the other part of that question, how important it is to have like a goalkeeper like Andre, someone who you look up to as the person who you're second behind in terms of learning from. How important is that aspect of goalkeeping to you?
I think that's probably the most important thing, to be honest, because a lot of players they wouldn't want to put themselves in a situation like that. Like, obviously everyone wants to play, so you would rather go somewhere where like, hey, I'm gonna play here for sure, than put yourself in a situation where you're as these guys say, number second. But I think for me, and at this point in my career, that's being in the national team with him and working with him on a daily basis and training when we go to camp, and just learning from him, that's something that could prove to be vital in my career, because obviously he's been there, he's done it at the highest level, as we all know. And just to learn from him and look at him as a mentor, that I think could be good for anyone in their career.
Yeah. All right. So now this is your career. You're in the national team. Are you still with Pittsburgh Riverhounds?
Right? No, right? I'm a free agent right now.
You're a free agent. Okay. All right. We won't get into that. We'll leave those things. We'll leave those things to your agent and stuff for them to discuss. Don't want to cause any conflict in that situation. But I mean, we ideally, like, where do you see yourself playing professionally in 3 years from now? Where would Jahmali want to be as a professional player if the opportunity presented itself?
That's kind of hard to say. I feel like a lot of people would say, you wanna go play in Europe or whatever, but it's a lot easier said than done to go play in Europe. But for me, I think that, if in 3 years I'm a number one in the MLS, then I think that, that's another a good stepping stone in my career.
Okay. All right. So even if you can get to be number one in the MLS, that's good.
Not even. That's the goal, to be a number one in that.
That's the goal. Listen, tell me, let's talk about national team a little bit. You have been a part of the group of players for a little while now, a steady part of the team. How highly do you rate the group of players that you have been working with, and what do you believe are the possibilities in terms of what they can accomplish as a group?
I think we have a good group of players right now. We have a good coaching staff. I think, once we all get on the same page and, everyone start clicking on the same page, then there's no limits to what we can achieve.
Yeah. So does that mean Nations League, Copa America, World Cup qualifications, progressing in the World Cup? Do you believe that those things are possible with this present group of players?
Yeah, it's all there for us right now. We already qualified for Copa America. We're in the Nations League semifinal. Like, all that is on the table for us. We just got to go there and, get the job done.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So good. You said there's a good coaching staff. How has it been working with the goalkeeper coach? We won't try to pronounce his full name. We'll just go by Gumi.
It's been good. He's very detail orientated, which is good. And me and Andre always says he does a lot of things that we don't really do at our club. So it's good for us going into camp, because we know that we're gonna be working on different things. And he tells me every time I go to camp, he tells me, hey, just make sure you're ready to play, which goes back to what I say, coming in as a number second, you got to be ready to play. You never know what's going to happen.
Don't follow the people as a number second. It's not good job, right?
Yeah, you got to give the people what they want.
Yeah. So tell me, what are, if there are 5 things you would use to define your goalkeeping ability, these are the areas that I believe I'm exceptionally good at. These are the 5 pillars, the 5 things that define my game as a goalkeeper. What are those 5 things?
I'd say 1, probably, leadership in terms of communicating and demanding what you want from guys around you, which I think that's natural that you got to have as a keeper. So I'd say that's 1. 2, I'd probably say distribution. Right foot, left foot, doesn't really matter. 3, I'd probably say reaction. Even in the championship, my reaction percentage compared to a lot of keepers in championships. So that's probably 1. Coming for crosses is another 1.
Yeah.
And 4, I'd say just just my presence having a strong presence. You know, as a keeper on any team, guys want to know that they have someone that they can rely on behind them, and I think that I have that presence as a goalkeeper.
Yeah. So number one, you said communication.
I said leadership, but you can say communication.
Leadership, which involves communication.
Yes.
Right. And then number two was distribution.
Yeah.
All right. Number three is reaction.
Yeah.
Number four is your ability to come and deal with the crosses.
Yeah.
Number five is your presence. It just your imposing presence in the goal is a part. All right, awesome. 5 good things for a goalkeeper. That is wonderful. All right, so we're going to mix a little fun into it and then get back to some stuff. Now, this is the $1 million question for $1 billion, right? Right now, normally when I do this, I say to the person, you have to put yourself on the team. I will not, you if you don't want to, you don't have to. But you know that if you pick a team with a goalkeeper and don't pick yourself, then people are going to question your own belief in yourself. So it's up to you. So you're going to pay for $10 billion. Players who you have played with, right? Who is your starting 7 and what is your preferred formation for the 7? And these are players that if you play in Jamaica, if you play in the States, if you play in Europe, you can use these players. You're confident that they can deliver the goods.
All right, I'm going to go Pinnock.
You know, you have to start with you start and you don't start with a goalkeeper.
Hold on, man. My team or your team?
All right, so Ethan Pinnock. All right. Yeah.
Damian Lowe
and Ethan Pinnock. All right.
And Arturo Ardones. He plays with me in Pittsburgh, but Arturo Ardones.
Arturo Ardones. What position he plays?
He's a center back.
So you're using 3 center backs.
What? This is my team. Damian Lowe.
No, I'm asking you.
Nana play kind of like a 6 and a center back, so you can drop in and move up.
All right.
You see the man in I 6 what against Canada, man.
No, I'm asking you. I just want the people to understand. I'm not telling you to select your team.
All right.
So you have Ethan Pinnock and the player from your club at center back, and Nana is playing like a 6 and okay, that's 3. Yeah.
Maggie. You know Maggie? Canada Forbes.
Canada Forbes. All right. 4. Whoa, that's a very let's see. 4.
I have to put them Gray in there.
Demar Gray 5.
Corey Burke
6. You need a goal. And you in the goal.
Yeah.
So Corey Burke, Demar Gray, Damian Lowe, Canada Forbes, Ethan Pinnock, Jahmali Waite, and what's the name of your player from your club?
Arturo Ardones.
All right. So that's your 7. And that is the 7 to win the $10 million wherever the game is being played.
Yeah.
All right, boss. We will hear what the people have to say. But let me get some comments. Rob says, I'm very impressed by his performance in Mexico. He didn't look rattled at all. But I know you said that the Grenada game was one of your best. Do you remember your performance in the Mexico game, Jamaica versus Mexico, though?
Yeah.
Because many people think like that was the coming of age of Jahmali Waite. That is the game that really, I believe, a lot of persons looked at and said, no, man, this guy is top class.
Yeah, no, yeah, I remember that game, the 2-2 draw down in Mexico.
Yeah. So you still believe that the Grenada game was a better performance from you than this game in Mexico?
Yeah, for me, it's. I think that the Mexico game was good as well, but in terms of my performance, I think like let's say the Mexico game was in March, and the Grenada game was in what, October.
Yes.
I think that I developed as a player from March to October. So my
Okay.
performance level in October was better than it was in March. Not saying the Mexico game in March wasn't good, but for me that Grenada performance was better.
Yeah. Um. Rob is also asking, how was it in Canada after Bowser raised the rifle the first time? Did you believe we were going to win the game?
Yeah, there was we that game I think that the first half we were obviously not very good, but the second half once we started to figure out what they were trying to do and how we could stop them from doing that and then punish them in the other end, I think there was everyone kind of had that belief that, hey, yeah, we can go and win this game.
Yeah. And I mean, just what is life like as a professional footballer? Because, sometimes people don't understand that there are difficulties to play for your club, then your national team, short breaks, away from family. And I know that you just proposed and saying congratulations
Thank you.
on that college sweetheart. Yeah. Just want to make sure, no, or no, just want to make sure, no.
No.
No. All right, sweetheart. Let's just leave it at that. You propose. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that. How difficult is it though to balance all of that? Still have time for family, for a relationship, and being a professional footballer when there's all this traveling, for club and for country.
Yeah, I mean it's extremely difficult, but I think that once you kind of got to have self-discipline as a person first of all, because there's always going to be things on your path, on your journey that try to pull you astray, try to lead you the wrong way. So you got to have that self-discipline to keep your head on, and then also you got to have the right people in your corner that's going to always tell you when you're wrong, like, because you could have a bunch of friends or whatever that's going to always just, they're going to suck up to you pretty much. But you need people that are honest with you, that are going to tell you when you're wrong and, tell you when you need to make changes in your life. And, you got to have people that influence your life in the right way.
Yeah. Who are some of those persons that you have that you can mention that they have been that kind of a positive influence on your life in your professional career and throughout your college time, that they have been there to ensure, like you said, that you're stick-to-itive in terms of your goals and your dreams, and that they don't allow you to go astray. They speak to you about the mistakes. Who are some of those people that you're really glad that they have been a part of the journey with you? Yeah,
I mean, probably for me right now, the biggest one is my fiance. That's why she's my fiance. She's been there for me through good times and bad. Probably some other ones is Andre has been a big influence on my life in the the past, even before I even went to college. He's been there, but I think since I started playing with the national team, we've kind of developed a good relationship, and I've had, obviously I'm a free agent. I've had things that I've talked to him about that I'm not going to share on the show, obviously, about my career and choices that, and he's given me good feedback because obviously he's been there. My goalie coach at Pittsburgh this past year, John Bush, was I think a big influence on me, and probably one of the biggest compliments to my growth as a player this year, But yeah, I mean, obviously family and all that, they've been there. My brother, sister, my mom. So yeah, I think I've had the right people in my corner to, get me where I am today and to keep me going in that direction.
Awesome. All right. Triple E says, is there any training difference between the current goalkeeper coach versus what you have learned throughout your goalkeeping experience?
That's kind of hard to say or like pinpoint, because let's say we're comparing that to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, I'm working with this coach every day. So, we have time to work on different things, all that. He knows me very well. He knows what I need to work on and all that. As compared to when you go with
the national
team, you're there for at most a week and a half, and every training session is geared towards
the game,
preparing for a game. So there's not really much you can do outside of preparing for that game.
Yeah. All right. Drew Ross, aka Drew Fortis, says, who was your favorite goalkeeper as a kid, or who were some of the goalkeepers that you looked up to?
I'd say Casillas, Van der Sar, and Manuel Neuer were the big three probably for me.
Yeah. All right. No, Andre Blake.
As a kid, he was still in school.
All right. So we have a texter. This is one of my co-hosts, and he says, what is next for Jahmali? What are his primary goals and aspirations?
I mean, like I said on the show before, I think it's just for me to continue to grow into my career and, keep growing and expanding my range as a goalkeeper in terms of talent and all that. So, I mean, I don't know what's next, so I can't tell you what next, but probably even if I did, I wouldn't tell you right
now. All right. He seems to play out from the back well. Where did he develop this ability, and how has that assisted him given the current need for keepers to play out the back?
I think that probably come from like I said before, I didn't start as a goalkeeper. So I've always had to play with my feet, obviously. And then I think probably at UConn is where I started to really work on that a lot, because go before that I couldn't use my left foot at all. And, that's something I decided that if you're going to play at the top level, then, that's probably something they'll be looking for. And I remember I would go out every day and I would just by myself just kick balls with my left foot, work on that. But also playing rondos in training, playing with outfield players in like small-sided games and stuff like that. That really helps to, develop your feet as well.
Yeah. Oh, what are his biggest strengths and areas for development? I think you answered that with the 5 things you gave earlier. Yeah. But what are areas you think, like personally, you want to develop in goalkeeping? Like you think, what, I could do a whole lot better in this particular area, and I need to work on this.
Probably the biggest thing for me right now, I would say, is consistency. Because, I think every player has that, but as a goalkeeper especially, you tend to you can't not be at your top level, because that that's probably the one position where if you're having a bad day, like everyone's gonna know it. Like it'll be there for everyone to see. So I think being more consistent is probably something that I've been working on, and needs some more work.
Yeah. All right. Dwight Spence, welcome to the chat. He says, any chance you will jump to the MLS next year?
We'll see what the Lord has in plans for me.
The night said, big up Jahmali, future Arsenal goalkeeper. Yeah. I don't think he supports Arsenal, He's not. When it comes on to clubs to support, I don't think he's one of the wise ones. You understand me? I need to give him some Arsenal wisdom. Yeah. This one says the best keeper in the world, Onana, is coming under some criticism now. If were his manager, what would you say is the worst and the best thing you could do for him? So it's asking that if you were Onana's manager, what would you say is the worst and the best thing you could do for him?
I think that would be a tough decision, probably as a position to be in as a manager, because like if you look at him the past couple of games, he's been good in the Premier League for the most part, but then in the Champions League, he's not been so good. And I mean that's just the hard truth right now for him. But you can't really, like, you as his manager, you're gonna play him in the Champions League. Like, he's your number one keeper. But I think one thing that he could probably do is just simplify his game a bit, because obviously everyone knows he's a ball playing goalkeeper. But with the players that United have, they're not built to play out the back, which I think they've been forcing all this season. So if, simplify your game, look, on goal kicks, you're just going to kick the ball out the field and you try to win the second ball. And then, from that, he'll be under less pressure to force plays. And, hopefully he'll start getting his confidence back. And once you get your confidence, then, he can go back to doing what he does best.
Wonderful. All right. Good answer. Bria Garden says, so proud of you. Continue to let him lead you. All right. Who is him? Tell the people who is the him they're talking about, because they don't know. Who is the him? When she says, continue to let him lead you. Tell the people now.
Yeah, she's talking about the mighty Lord. Everyone knows.
All right. So, I see Rob has a thing, right? Rob says, and I'm going to say something and then you can answer. Well, Union didn't renew their backup keeper contract, so let's see. Jim Curtin loves Jamaicans. All right. So let me just say something, Jahmali, and then I'll let you come in. So I did talk to Jahmali some time ago. I said, would you go to the Union? And then he kind of said, like, do you believe that a club would have the number one and the number two goalkeeper from a nation at their club at the same time? Because every time there's national duty, both of the goalkeepers are going to go. All right? I know you had said that to me, but, and that also means that the likelihood of getting a game is probably slimmer. Right? So, but if that opportunity presented itself, let me ask you a different question. If the opportunity presented itself, would that be something you say, you know what, this is not the best move for me, do it as a MLS?
To go to Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Look, I think there's obviously ways that you could work around it, right? Like, if there's a camp and, Andre's going, and it's like one game and it's like, hey, like, look, also most of the times MLS does break for international duty. So the problem would be when, for instance, like Copa America next summer, when it's a month-long tournament, obviously they're not going to break for a month. That's where the problem would come along. But I don't think it would.
Both of you would be at the Copa America and MLS games
would be played. Right. Yeah.
I see. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. And then this is Mr. United says, is there any truth to you going to Tottenham?
Not that I know of.
All right. Listen, Jamal, it was so refreshing, really talking to you. Like I tell people, you're a leader. Very cordial, intelligent. You have a degree, and sometimes when I tell people one of the joy of working with this, because I've had the privilege of being around you guys, and there's a wealth of knowledge outside of football because so many of you have your college degree and education. And I think that is what has made a huge impact on the team. It's not just the on the field issues, it's just how you have managed yourself as a collective group off the field. And in the group of players, like everyone is a leader in his own right. Anyone can stand up and hold everybody else accountable, and you're a part of that. I believe that there's great things to be accomplished, and I've said this already, that this is like the last hurrah, I think, for Jamaica for a very long time. And if how Belgium had this golden generation that is not so golden anymore, this is like a golden era for Jamaica, and we must capitalize on it. And I hope you can continue to inspire and encourage your other teammates to don't let anything or anyone detract from the big goal that is ahead of all of you, to be in the World Cup and and compete at a high level against one of the best nations in the world. Yep. I see this one saying, let's take this one. Is Jahmali counted as a domestic player for USL and MLS? Because he asked earlier if you are a dual citizen.
I'm counted as a domestic player.
Oh, so you're actually a domestic player. Okay. Yeah. So Dwight, you're trying to ask if he's a citizen some other way. So that kind of answers it, right? Indirectly, he's a domestic player. Andrew, he said that if he wouldn't tell us that if he knew, because it's not out yet. So he's a free agent. Where are you going next? Come on, think about it, Andrew. You think you would say that? All right, we have a caller. We'll take one call on the show. Want to speak? This is Dwight Spence. Dwight, welcome. Good afternoon. We have Jahmali. So go ahead, ask your question, and then and big up the baller. You understand me? Yeah.
Sorry. Hold on. Let me mute you. How you doing, man?
I am doing good, man. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Jahmali, big up. I don't think I've met you personally, but I've been following your career from Fairleigh Dickinson to once you got to the Union Academy, from when you got to the Union Academy to Fairleigh Dickinson. And then once you hit UConn, I said this, but I go big time from there. So congrats on the move. I have some friends in Pittsburgh, so they watch you quite often. If you follow online, I've been a strong advocate of yours. A lot of people might just be seeing you show up now, but I've seen you for the past 5 years. I know Shavar and the guys from UConn. They kind of said, yeah, that man a big keeper. So just want to say big up, keep on doing the work. Love the work you're doing. And if I catch, I'm down in Florida, or if I'm not in Florida, I'm in Jamaica. So I'll try to catch one of the games in person one time.
Yeah, man. Respect. Blessings.
So just want to say big up.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man, cool. So that's one of your biggest fans on social media, and he's always talking about Jahmali Waite. Saying that, listen, we don't have to worry, Andre Blake can retire right now. He's always said that. Andre Blake can retire right now because, we have a young Jahmali coming up. Understand it? But listen, if you have any other questions, you can go ahead. We have a few more minutes to go. If you have any other questions for Jahmali, then I'll give him an opportunity to thank some of the persons who have helped him in being where he's at now and accomplishing what he has accomplished in his life so far. Or if you want to just call in quickly and big him up, you can go ahead and do that. All right, Jahmali. But in the meantime, you can go ahead. I don't know if you want to thank who you want to thank, for the path your career has taken. The persons you want? Yeah.
Obviously, like I said before about the good influential people I have in my life right now. Going back to a youth, probably, all of my coaches, Olympic Garden.
Who used to coach you down there? Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Peart. I think he's still at JC right now too. He was also my U16 coach at JC.
Mr. Peart. Andrew?
No.
Oh, not that Mr.
Different
Pierre.
Pierre, man. No, different Pierre.
Oh, the older Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, everyone at JC. Yeah. Big up to everybody from Jamaica who, you know, probably they didn't really know I was gonna be where I am today, but you know, they gave me an opportunity back when I was there, and you know, for that I'll forever be grateful.
Yeah, man. All right. What is your favorite Jamaican food, Jahmali?
Very good.
Curry goat. All right. Who's your favorite Jamaican artist?
Right now, Massacre.
What is your favorite song?
Limelight.
Don't have a clue what that is.
Yeah, you know, listen music.
And right now, who is, if you're going to rate like top 5 goalkeepers in the world, who would your top 5 be?
Right now.
Right now. All things being equal, everybody fit. Who are your top 5 goalkeepers?
Courtois. Allison.
Hold on, Carla. Courtois, Allison.
Yeah. Edison. Four.
No, Naya.
Naya just a comeback. Actually, Naya, like me, I put Naya for.
The Italian goalkeeper at PSG. You not ready?
I'm not saying they're ready, but I don't think it's
Pickford.
Definitely not top 5.
Pope.
5.
Barcelona keeper.
Ter Stegen.
There you go. All right.
6, Andre Blake. 7, Jahmali Waite.
No, you see now. I tell the people that Andre Blake is one of the top 20 keepers just because you know what the other people beat me still. But we have a next caller online. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. We have Jahmali Waite in studio with us.
Yeah, afternoon, mornings, man. Mr. Waite, blessings.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I noticed I was listening to your interview, right? And you're stressed on when you went to Philadelphia, you're stressed on the facility. So when you went there, the facility was quite impressive. And when you went to the other college where you got the full scholarship, that one was newly built. And that also impressed you, right? So I think that they said that the facility in itself was a major factor, and the resources that they had was a major factor in your development.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I wanted to ask you as a player and from your professional standpoint, do you believe that players who grew up in those facilities are familiar with those facilities, should they transition to Jamaica? Let us say Jamaica, they come to Jamaica and have to use our facilities. How would those players cope? Because you have experience being in Jamaica and you also have experience being overseas. Should we take players from that stage and bring them to Jamaica? How do you think they would cope with our infrastructure?
I think that would be quite difficult for them to cope, because in terms of just, you know, equipment, playing surface, but also probably the biggest thing would be even like gym facilities and your recovery stuff after games, how you recover, all that. I don't think there's a lot of those in Jamaica, at least from when I was there. So it would be quite tough, because the most important thing is for a player to recover and, you know, regenerate to be able to go again, play another game. So.
Yeah, because the other question was also to follow up with that in terms of how do you advise our local players who don't necessarily have the opportunity to transition overseas currently. What can these players do? I mean, everything might not be in place, but there must be something that they can do locally to assist with their development. So maybe we don't have the right amount of equipment, but maybe we could replace things with the resources that we have. Or, you know, what would be your advice to those local players who have not gotten the chance to transition overseas as yet?
I think that probably and this is something I was guilty of when I was playing in Jamaica as well, is how well you recover. Because I think that, you know, a lot of players after a game, you don't really stretch or anything. You go home, you go out to party later, you do drink a lot of alcohol and stuff like that, which actually all that stuff is probably very bad for your recovery. So, you know, what you do after a game and our training or all that is very important for your recovery. So that's just a small thing that could make a huge difference.
Okay, so the recovery process is something that should be taken very seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe you could just give an insight, now take a show man as to what does recovery actually mean. Because I see a lot of people doing ice baths now and, as you say, stretching and stuff like that. But just a little insight as to what does it take or require to actually recover.
Yeah, those are probably the two biggest things, but also, you know, food intake, water intake, protein, all that stuff. Drinking alcohol, you know, that's just probably, you know.
No rum and boom.
I mean, you can, but you know, you gotta have a limit to what you do.
All right, Parish Council. Yeah, man. Thanks for your input.
Yeah, man. All right, big up yourself, baller. No respect.
Yeah, man. All right, best up. Yeah, man. All right, cool. All right, finally, Jahmali, ask him what he thinks of young Boyz Clark.
I think in terms of a goalkeeper, I think he's a young goalkeeper that's probably in the environment where he's developing, he's growing, and you know, every time he comes to camp with us, it's great working with him. You can see the talent he possesses. But yeah, I think he's a great goalkeeper and a great person.
Yeah. Listen, all right, Jamal, listen, I want to thank you so much again for making yourself available. It's always a pleasure, you know, just talking to you. Jamali is one of those persons that when I'm with the team, we always sit down and have conversations. Like I said, very intelligent leader, you know, very, very cordial. You know, even though he's very vocal on the field, he's always like in a small group, in a small space, just kind of reasoning and meditating, and that is much appreciated. Let me just take this one because I think this is a good comment, and then Jahmali will go. Let me just, Brando just came on and he has this one question, so let's do that, and then we will end the show. People, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button, to subscribe, and to share. I see somebody here calling you one Babu. Said that him know you from Cockburn Pen, U20 days at Olympic. So who name Babu? Are you there used to call Babu? I know what tell you that. Eh? You know what you tell me? You want to used to call you Babu?
Only Panium, man.
All right. Now when we're on camp, you're going to say, "Well, go on, Babu." All right. What, Brando? It's based on your experience. What do you change or add to youth development, Jamaica youth development?
I mean, the biggest thing for development is to have a pathway, which I think when you look at you know, other places compared to Jamaica, there's no real pathway for you to move up into. Like if you look at, let's say, in Philadelphia Union Academy, they have all the youth teams, whatever, which they have in Jamaica, but then there's when when you're in U18, you're working with a professional team, you're training with those guys, and you have that right there for you where you can make that transition into a professional career. So it's I mean, youth development is all good. You can have a bunch of kids running around, but if there's no pathway and no structure to it, then it doesn't really help.
All right, cool, awesome. Duclan is asking, can management take penalties? Here he's absolutely rubbish at it. Oh, jeez.
I never seen him take a penalty.
Tell you when them say we touch bad, no man. When me a jump it, we can't drop it. Big up Jahmali, don't tell him.
You touch bad, yes.
Yeah, but listen again, thank you, Jahmali. I mean, again, congratulations on your recent proposal, and I know it will be good relationship, and it will be a good wedding when that day comes, and a good marriage when that time comes. You know what I mean? And all the best in your career. And I really hope as you make the next move in your life, whether it's Pittsburgh or elsewhere, that it is one that will give you the opportunity to grow and mature more and become better at your craft. And again, the big picture is 2026, and just continue to stay steadfast and focus on that, and just do your part in helping that dream come to fruition. All right. Bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.
Yeah, man. Respect. Blessings.
Every time. All right. All right, so there you go, people. That was Jahmali Waite. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. I certainly did. Oh no, somebody Maliki just asking which schoolboy team he supports. The man went to JC. Come on now. You think he's going to support any other team? So let me just share that with you. But I want to remind you again to hit the like button, to subscribe, and to share. Join us this evening. A little later in the evening, we will have we have a goalkeeper, so we're going up to the top of the field, all the way in the striking position, and we're going to have someone on. We're going to talk to them because they have a story that I think is so compelling, is that it will help others to understand that no matter where you start, life is about how hard you work at finishing strong. All right, so enjoy yourselves. Have a good day until we meet again later. Thank you for all the love and the support. Thank you for those who believe in the dream and believe in the possibilities and believe in people. Thanks to those who give, support in every way and in all way that they can. Again, I am Manningsman. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And when it gets to this point of the show and we're about to end, we say we are over and we are O-U-T out of here.
Boom, check it out. I don't know it's Jason. I'm a represent for I Am Sure Sports. For the latest news and updates, check out I Am Sure Sports. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe and share. Jason representing I Am Sure. I Am Sure Sports.